Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Nate, and welcome back to another weather forecast discussion for February 22nd, 2022. Now, things are now underway as a major winter storm is now moving on through much of the United States that is expected to bring ice hockey rink amounts of ice, feet of snow, and even tornadoes in some spots. So let's just show you what's happening right now as we take a look at the current radar imagery. You can see a plethora of snowfall reports across portions of the Midwest and the Great Lakes, and this Arctic boundary is now starting to develop here in two different waves as we saw in our past videos. If you guys have been keeping up with my channel, we have our first wave, which is now officially moved off into portions of southern Michigan, central and northern Indiana, as well as northwestern Ohio. And then we have our second wave down here, which is in the southern plains, that is going to start bringing some significant amounts of freezing rain across much of Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, the Mississippi River Valley areas, as well as the Ohio River Valley areas, and that'll continue to seep on further off into the north and east. So we have basically a whammy of storms and ice storms that are really going to create some major problems for much of the United States. And I took the live storm reports off just so you guys can see the actual radar here. For the most part, your white and blues is all snow. Then once you get to the pink and purples, that's your sleet and freezing rain. And this all is relatively consistent with what is happening here. As you can see, you have a lot of precipitation that is starting to rise up, a lot of that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. And when it interacts with that Arctic boundary, that's when you start to get some freezing precipitation that starts to move on through. And it's going to be very heavy for much of the Ozarks, as well as into portions of the central and southern plains as well. And that's what's going to happen over the next 12 hours. But then after 12 hours, all of this ice over here is going to shift further and further towards the east, heading off into portions of Little Rock, Memphis, eventually towards areas near Evansville, Nashville, as well as towards the Paducah areas. And this is going to be the main cause for concern, in my opinion, as to where the most significant amounts of ice could potentially reside. And if you guys remember, on December 10th, we had the Quad State Tornado, or most notably known as the Mayfield-Dawson Springs Tornado, and that actually occurred right within the heart of where this major ice is going to be. So recovery efforts and or rebuilding efforts is going to be actually just being stomped on more than anything. I mean, I was going to say it's going to be halted, but with the amount of ice that is possible for some of these areas, it really could actually make it worse within that general vicinity. So I hope you guys like this brief update. We got to share this information with as many people as possible because this is a significant winter storm, all right? Millions of people are going to be impacted and are already being impacted by the system. And so if you guys would please share this with as many people as possible, whether it's by copying the link of this video and sharing it with friends and family via a text message or via some sort of DM and something like that, that would be greatly appreciated. And by liking the video, you actually help me get this information out to more and more people on YouTube. That would be greatly appreciated. And thank you guys so much for your support over these past couple of videos, because we've been getting this information out to so many people as of. And also, if you're new to my channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with all the information that I do provide on the weather that is moving on through. I try to update frequently, whether it's a video a day or a video every 2 days, something along the lines of that, because I do have a bit of some activity in my private life, but otherwise I do try and keep up to date with the weather for you all. And if you guys want to know exactly why this is all occurring, I highly recommend you tune into my video that I uploaded yesterday. The link will be in the description down below. So before we dive into all the timings and the amounts of wintry precipitation that we can see from this event, we're going to take a look at the watches, warnings, and advisories that are from the storm. And you can see this massive swath of lavender, pink, blues, all this areas all the way through into some of the dark purples. And this is all sorts of wintry warnings. We have ice storm warnings that are in effect, winter storm warnings, winter storm watches, freeze watches. We even have a blizzard warning that is in effect for a county over here in Texas. It's all the way over in western Texas, but there is some wintry warnings that are all across the board. And I mean, just look at the swath of this. Look at how far it expands all the way through in the United States. I mean, it's practically about a fourth of the United States that's under some sort of wintry watch. And that right there, I mean, I haven't seen this in a long time, guys. If anything, to where we have such an expansive storm just like this one. So now we're going to get into the specifics here. We're going to try and make this as quick as possible for everyone so that you guys know when you guys could anticipate some of your wintry precipitation. And by the time this video gets released, there's going to be a lot of significant snow that's going to be over portions of Oklahoma and northern Texas. And I said in my video yesterday that if you're in Oklahoma, you have a good basis of getting about 3 to 5 inches of total snowfall at minimum, with maximums can be up to about 8 inches, unless if you're over into southeastern portions of Oklahoma, where you guys can already see some of those salmon and purple colors are existing throughout much of those areas, and that is going to be a big cause for concern in regards to how much freezing rain you guys might actually see. And you can see as this is all going on, the freezing rain now starts to march a lot further to the east. Anywhere along the Ohio River down towards the Mississippi River near Memphis is a cause for concern, especially if you're near Memphis, Paducah, Louisville, heading up towards Cincinnati. You guys could eventually get into some of the action here, and even areas near Little Rock and Jonesboro. Do not stray away from the storm. Always be weather aware with this one in particular, because this one is definitely going to be very significant in regards to how much freezing rain, sleet, and snow you guys could potentially get. And this will continue to linger on through. I mean, look at this. The timings above me is in Eastern, but if you just give a general idea as to what is happening here, this is Thursday evening, guys, and this is still here. This video is being uploaded here at Wednesday evening. It takes a full 24 hours before your freezing rain, get this, your freezing rain and sleet in general actually starts to move on through, and even then you could potentially get some residual snow showers after that as you head towards Friday morning. And here's the maximum amount of snow totals that you guys could get with this system. You can see, of course, the majority of it is going to be a bit further towards the north and east of the areas that are getting snow right now. So portions of northeastern Oklahoma heading into central and southern Missouri, central Illinois, as well as central to northern portions of Indiana and Ohio, especially as you get up into the northern portions of those states and the central to southern portions of Michigan. So basically areas over there near Toledo, Fort Wayne, as well as portions of Indianapolis and north of that, and Detroit, you guys all need to watch out for the potential of some significant amounts of snow, and upwards of about 1.5 to almost 2 feet of snow that is potentially possible for your area. And even Dallas, Fort Worth, that general vicinity could potentially get some snow as well. But if you take a look at the freezing rain, I mean, you guys are right next to, if not on top of, where the significant amounts of freezing rain could potentially be. So if you're in Dallas, Fort Worth, you guys still need to watch out for. If you guys live in the following areas: Dallas, Fort Worth, Little Rock, maybe areas of Memphis and Jonesboro, along areas near Mayfield, or near heading off towards Lexington, as well as Louisville and Cincinnati, that general vicinity. If you live along those areas, you guys really need to watch out, especially within areas of this very deep pink within this general vicinity. There is going to be a lot of freezing rain that can cause some catastrophic power outages and downed trees, as well as some very hazardous travel. I mean, this is going to be happening over the span of multiple days. As you guys know, you guys have already started to get some of that rain, but then as that moves on through, you'll get that freezing rain, and this could be a multi-day type thing to where this system really won't let you guys take a breather until afterwards, and that may be even a span of a day and a half. So power outages may not even be resolved until then. Now, what about areas that are over here? As I said, Michigan, Indiana, as well as further east of that, maybe even the portions of Illinois. We'll talk about that as well. I mean, you guys are still getting snow here as I'm making this video, and as this continues to move on through, your second wave really starts to show up here on the early morning hours of Thursday. I mean, look at this massive band that extends all the way through from portions of Arkansas up into upstate New York, even into portions of Ontario, as well as the New Brunswick general vicinity. That is going to continue to be the case all the way through from Thursday morning into Friday. You can see how this band really moves off very slowly to the east. And this is going to be one of those things to where we need to watch out for how much snow, freezing rain, and sleet could potentially be possible for this entire area here, existing from Roanoke, maybe a little bit further north of Roanoke, actually, so my apologies there, but like Charleston, Parkersburg, Wheeling, West Virginia, heading off towards areas like Columbus, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, as well as further off to the north, New York City, Connecticut, Massachusetts, like Boston and stuff like that, maybe even Albany and portions of the New England general vicinity. You guys need to watch out and maybe even in the portions of New Jersey as well. You guys could potentially get some frozen precipitation as well. But of course, the further north you are, the higher the likelihood it is going to be to where you guys could actually see that frozen precipitation. So the Delmarva Peninsula, you guys might get something, but it might be very minimal as it passes on through from the Friday afternoon to the evening hours. And same thing with southern New Jersey, same thing with much of Virginia, the Carolinas, Georgia, stuff like that. You guys might not even see a whole lot. It might be just a bunch of rain and maybe some severe weather as well that could exist. But it really is going to be located more towards New England, as well as portions of central to southern Pennsylvania, as well as even into portions of central to northern West Virginia. So now we're going to take a look at the maximum amount of freezing rain that is possible across much of this area. You can still see the path that has been carved by this winter storm with our freezing rain, and that is going to continue to be the case all the way through to portions of Parkersburg, Wheeling, Charleston. You guys could potentially get some activity. State College, Pennsylvania, big college town over there. New York, Albany, all the way up into areas of New England. You guys could get a vast amount of freezing rain possible here within this general vicinity, and even towards the Shenandoah Mountains, you guys could potentially get some activity. Specifically, I'd say near Front Royal. That general vicinity definitely needs to watch out for some freezing rain possible. And don't sleep on areas like Morgantown all the way down to Charleston. You guys typically get wacky weather because of the Appalachian Mountains, and I would not expect this to be anything different, so watch out for that if you guys are in those areas as well. And last but not least, the snow totals here. You can see how this actually expands all the way up through into portions of upstate New York, like Buffalo, as well as into portions of Syracuse and Rochester, maybe even further up towards Vermont, New Hampshire. You guys can get about 26 inches of snow at maximum. And then you could also see some more snow residing into places like Cleveland, Toledo, on top of all this. This is not exactly the extra snow totals. This is more of what is left to come from the video that we have right now and onward. So just something to keep in mind as we move on through. But I want to say something here real quickly, and that is the potential for all that freezing rain and snow is possibly going to go a little bit further down to the south. There might be one of those things where the models are not really anticipating as much of a southern trend due to the fact that they want a lot of that moisture that's coming off of the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico to seep a lot further towards the north. And for what's been happening so far, it seems that this winter activity is starting to move off a lot quicker than anticipated and a lot further south than was anticipated as well. So I would not be surprised if that was the case over here too, into some of these areas that are getting freezing rain as well. And that means the areas that are south of the freezing rain, you guys could potentially get some freezing rain as well. So it's just one of those things where I would continue to monitor this winter storm. And if you see any of your areas that have been in these colors in general, all right, if you've seen any of your areas within the significant amounts of snow or the freezing rain, you guys need to prepare like yesterday or maybe even last Tuesday. It's just one of those things to where you guys really need to take proper precautions with the system, because this is not something to scoff at all. Now, last but not least, I want to mention the severe weather event that can move on through. Now, the thing of it is, and as crazy it may sound, I could potentially live stream this event if it goes up to a 5%, and I think that it actually could verify as something higher than that. So if something wacky happens, I could live stream, but it's still something that I'm going to have to keep in mind as this moves on through. But let's just get the timings here as to when the severe weather could actually move on through. We were talking about how this massive cold front is going to start to really form, and it's going to really take shape as this moves on through from the afternoon to the evening hours. And if we back up here, you can see how unorganized this actually was. There's not as many thunderstorms that are forming in a collegiate line. And now as we move on through here from the morning into the afternoon hours, you can see a lot more of those reds and yellows that start to form as these dots, and that indicates some strong thunderstorms that could become supercells and could even produce tornadoes. So we're just going to have to watch as to how this continues to progress on through, and of course I'll keep you guys up to date as to whether or not I could be live streaming tomorrow. But still something to monitor even as this moves on through after that. And you guys could potentially see some severe weather specifically into areas of the peninsula and the Big Bend of Florida, as well as even into portions of the Carolinas on Friday afternoon. Not expected to be as big as something like Thursday, but still something to watch out for, as the potential for strong damaging winds is possible within some of these areas. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications, share this with friends and family and on social media. Also follow me on social media, link will be in the description down below. The Give It To Me Straight question of the day will be, if you live in any of these areas, how much snow and or freezing rain have you gotten so far, or when you actually saw this video from? I will pin the most interesting person that I find in the comments. Please be sure to label your state and or city if you want to. And thank you guys once again. I will see you guys in the next upload, which will probably be on Thursday night if I don't live stream. So peace out, everyone.